There are more than 140 affordable housing units. This was one of those very Atlanta moments in which several recognizable figures came together for a common cause.
What's going on, people? Ray, Channel Real Estate with Ray, and I happened to come across T.I. and Tiny's property in Trotter, out here in Atlanta in the Center Hill neighborhood. This property is 143 units, I believe. 25 of those units are actually for homeless kids, and the others are government assistance. Now, later we'll get into the government assistance and what that exactly is for those who don't know, but usually people think of affordable housing like this. But with this affordable housing, it actually looks pretty nice on the outside. I'm not familiar with the inside, but this is the structure on the exterior, and it's actually pretty good. So kudos to T.I., Tiny, and his team.
All right, so for those who don't know, the T.I. property that I was at earlier is affordable housing. Unfortunately, I'm not there at the moment, but it is affordable housing. And for those who don't know what affordable housing is, basically anything that is affordable not on this damn market, because these motherfucking rates are crazy out here. So with affordable housing, you usually have two different types of government programs. For this particular property, I'm going to say that it is the type of program that people have to qualify for, and they get funding from the government to be able to pay for their rent. Without that, for this particular property in this area, it's probably not going to make sense. Now, T.I. and Tiny, they have their name on the property, which is good because they're like the face of the entire project itself. Now, T.I. may not be the architecture, he may not be the person that came up with the design of it, but he got all the right people in place, and he also probably put some money towards the project itself to give back to the community. With this government program, he definitely would have had to get some government assistance to actually work on the project and construct the project. If not, for a traditional investor, it wouldn't make any sense with the building costs right now. And I'm gonna switch over to the computer and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by it wouldn't make sense to do this from a traditional investor standpoint, and also why government assistance is the only thing that'll probably work in this particular area.
So we are at the computer here, and I want to get into quick details on this property and what I stated earlier about how government assistance is going to be the reason that this property even worked in the first place. So the property again is in Trotter West Side. It's actually around the Center Hill area. Of people who those are familiar with Atlanta. Center Hill's here, Grove Park, Almond Park, around this particular area. Now, this area is not the hottest area around, but this is where the property was at. So if we go out to citydata.com, this is where you actually can use a website to find out different census information to see, what the median household income looks like, what the poverty rate looks like. So we're going to use this particular site to look at the data behind this particular area. So this property is around Comrade, this circle, the street here. So I think I had it pretty close to where I was at before. Yep, right here. So it's right here off of Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. So when we click this area and you pop this little bubble up, it's going to show you the different pieces of data here. And I'll zoom in so you can see that a little better. So the median household income is $27,039. And then you also have the median household value at $69,000, median contract rent, which is basically the average rent around that area, or the median rent around that area, and what stuff is going for, $732. So that's what that contract rent means. You got unemployment, 22%. Poverty level 42, and then the median age range is about 53. Now, as you can see here, you see the population around that area is predominantly Black. 99.7% of that area is Black. When you start getting into the math of these different things, and why I say that this would be difficult for this property, this new construction, to make sense for a new investor, if the median household income is 27,000, that means per month the individual in that household make $22.50 per month. And if we're going by the 30% rule, meaning that 30% of their income is what you would need to be able to pay, or what you would use to be able to pay the monthly rent, that brings you to $675 per month. Now, they can only afford $675 per month, but the median contract rent in that area, remember, is $732. If it's $732, they can't afford anything. So more than likely, just using a very high level type of approach, it would be very hard for them to even pay for anything, if not impossible. So then they have to get the government assistance to add on to that. Now, why would this not make sense for an investor? Right now, building commercial property is completely absurd. It's completely absurd. And you're looking at to build a apartment complex could run you anywhere from 200 to $400 or $500 per square foot. An average cost across the nation right now is about $398 per square foot. For this particular building, that's about 167,000 square feet. You're looking at close to 60 plus million to even build this building. Now, that number may be off. Maybe a safer range would be between 30 and 50. But even then, you're tapping into A-class territory. You start getting into a situation where you have to have the rents around $2,500, $3,000 a month to even cover that much, to even cover or make the deal make sense if you're coming in there and building it without the government assistance.